DK Audio presents Writers, Their Lives and Works by DK, read by Carr and Cass, with a foreword read by Roger May.
Foreword. A celebrated author once apologized to me for having to disappear for a while from public view. "I've been arguing with a novel for 6 months," he said. No further explanation was necessary. He had to return to the fray, because the argument couldn't be put aside and had to be settled one way or another. Pen in hand, he had to gaze once more at a blank page. Imaginative writers, the novelists and poets in this volume, and countless hordes of others, have all heard that insistent call, pulling them away. They've also learned, with varying degrees of reluctance and joy, that the place to which they are taken is the one where they are meant to be. The first act of the writer is not so much to put the first word on the page, but to understand the obligation to listen when the call comes. This is as true for writers driven by an urge to confront the world around them, a satirist like Jonathan Swift, a Dickens or a Kafka, as for those who want to build a new and distant place for their imaginations. They are all aware of what some poets or novelists have characterized as a near-priestly function, as if they are the interpreters of a higher truth to those who require their intervention and guidance to see it and understand it for themselves. A convenient belief, you might say, because it swathes the whole business in mystery and suggests there are secrets that can never be unravelled by outsiders. Yet it's true. Writers who don't accept that they are on a journey into the unknown will never produce work that lasts, because it will lack the magic that can infect a reader's mind. Even authors who are brutal about the day-to-day struggles of their trade come back, again and again, to the inexplicable character of the force that propels them. When George Orwell described writers as vain, selfish, and lazy, he went on to say that it wasn't moral weakness of that kind that kept them at it, the business of producing a book being for him like enduring a long, painful illness, but the presence of a demon that they could neither resist nor understand. Poets have the luxury of being more open about this than novelists, of course, because in every culture they have always been expected to be in touch with some muse in a way denied to everyone else. Long before the Romantics in early 19th century England put aside the mirror that poets before them had professed to hold up to nature and replaced it with a lamp that would light up their own inner lives, the poem was the vehicle that could take you out of the world, as surely as the tale-telling of an oral tradition that mingled history with mystery and fantasy, when verses and stories were lovingly passed down the generations. Seamus Heaney, a Nobel laureate in literature in the last decade of the 20th century, returned to the Aeneid for his last published work, translating Book 6 of Virgil's epic, which describes how the Trojan hero Aeneas descends into the underworld, having cut the golden bough to protect him as he goes, the mythic story that inspired poets from Dante Alighieri in the Italian Middle Ages to the Anglo-American T.S. Eliot, writing just after the First World War, nearly 6 centuries later. Like Heaney, they were drawn to the oldest stories, the ones that we want to interpret over and over again to explain to ourselves who we are and why we behave as we do. No writer of quality can escape that task. At the end of F. Scott Fitzgerald's The Great Gatsby, the narrator Nick Carraway says, "So we beat on, boats against the current, borne back ceaselessly into the past." This is much more than a cry of regret at the glitzy, insubstantial world of wealth that first attracted Carraway and then repelled him, but Fitzgerald's own profound feeling for a journey of his own that was destined never to end. It is as sharply relevant to the whole story of American life as the elemental struggle against the wild forces of nature in Herman Melville's Moby Dick.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?